What is going on, guys? Welcome back here to the channel for another Hot Toys unboxing and review video. And today is a pretty special one here. This is a very highly sought after Star Wars figure. And my assumption with this is that, just because we presumably are never gonna get another Jyn Erso figure, I think that's the primary reason that this one is so highly sought after and like as expensive as it is in the aftermarket. So I was never really, you know, in hunting for this figure, let's say. It was never a figure I imagined ever owning. It wasn't because just because of the price, in all honesty. But I happened to go up to one of the flea markets around where I live here, and sure enough, the gentleman who runs a little shop there had not only this figure, but they also had the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian figure. So if you caught the show, or maybe it was on a stream a couple weeks ago, because we did take a week off, so it is good to be back here. And I apologize for anybody who was expecting a Hot Toys review last Wednesday, or a figure review in general, but we took a week off. Uh, 2 weeks ago marked the 1 year anniversary of our show, Honest and Uneducated. So we took a week off and now we are back, and that also includes the figure reviews. But yeah, I never imagined I would have this figure, but like I said, the gentleman had this. He had the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian figure, and between the two of them, I mean, obviously I had to pay a little bit over retail, but not incredibly much. I still got it for significantly cheaper than it goes aftermarket, and this was brand new in box. Wasn't used, wasn't anything like that. So it was very. As soon as I saw it, I was just like, I'm gonna need that and that. I'm gonna need this. And I'm gonna need that Heavy Infantry Mandalorian figure you got there, bro. And nevertheless, here it is. So I'm very excited to actually get this open, take a look at everything. She comes with a ton of stuff. So let's get this started. All right. So as you can see here, she came with two different boxes as I had there on the turntable. The first one is the traditional black and gray, Star Wars. This is a box, just like any sideshow figure. All Star Wars figures typically have this, at least in the 6 scale collectible range. And this is just a sleeve that slips right off, and then you have the nice fancy little art box. There's nothing really special about the sleeve. It just has, typical credits and everything on it. And then this one, though, I gotta tell you, this is a very unique and very cool box, and it's so strange because I haven't seen them do anything like this one before. Now, the only thing that this reminds me of, and this is just a strange thing that Hot Toys seems to do every once in a while, is they take a random figure, kind of like this one, and the other one in comparison to this is the Darth Maul from the Solo film. He had like a very brief appearance in the movie at the very end of the film, and he got a DX version, and he had a very special box that was very much like this. It was all holographic. Now it's a little different than this, but it's the only one I've seen that's kind of comparable to this one. But this one's even a little bit more special than that one, as it has this little like lock here on the side. So you actually have to like remove this. So you slip that out, and then it opens up. But first, let's take a look at the rest of the box here. So you have on the front, nice picture of Jyn herself there. Then on the side, you have this nice little stripe here with the Disney logo, Rebel logo. Not sure what this says. I'm gonna assume I might be wrong here, but I mean in the English font here says 1/6 scale collectible figure. Perhaps it says the same thing there. I'm not really sure. But then on the back, you have the standard credits that you normally would get with another Rebel logo there. And then you just have, like I said, that lock here. And then once you open this up, you are greeted with this. And you have a little more stuff here. It says, putting behind a checkered past by lending her skills to a greater cause. Jyn Erso is impetuous, defiant, and eager to bring the battle of the Empire, or bring the battle to the Empire. Used to operating alone, she fights higher purpose by taking on a desperate mission for the Rebel Alliance. Then you have these nice cool little graphics here and everything like that. And then on the front here, you're greeted with this more. And this is what your typical like kind of art print would be. And then there you go. Then you have the figure itself. So, and as you can see, she comes with a ton of stuff. And I know it's hard to see because of the glare, so don't worry. I'm going to be getting this all out of the package here in just a moment. But well, actually, since it is kind of hard to see and the box is a little big with it all open, I guess now what I'm going to do is get everything out of the box and we'll take a closer look at everything that she comes with. All right, so first things first, I figured we could just take a quick look at the figure herself here when I got the first clam tray off. And like I said, as you can see now with that off, she comes with just a ton of stuff here. So you still have this tray over here that has the jacket and then like a satchel and a helmet and binoculars and all that. But man, I'll tell you what, like the head sculpt on this figure is absolutely phenomenal. It has a great likeness and like it's paint's very well done. It's really great. So I mean, I would honestly say like even though this is the only one like of Jyn Erso will probably ever have, like that aside, I still think this is a pretty great figure, especially if you're a fan of Rogue One in general. But it's just kind of an added bonus that this is probably the only one we're ever going to get. So, but yeah, so with this out of the way here, as you can see, first impressions are very, very, very nice. Great likeness and everything. So we're going to take everything out here, all these hands, scarf, and all this stuff here. We're going to take a closer look at everything she comes with. All right, guys. So like I said, she comes with a ton of stuff. And I'm going to try to get through this fairly quickly because if I go into like too much detail, we'll be here all night. But I do have one thing to say first before we get into taking a closer look at Jyn herself. Just to note, if you ever get this, be careful and be on the lookout because like I said, this was new in the box for me, so she still had the plastic wrap around her feet and hands and everything. And as I took mine out, the boot clasp, this little it's a faux clasp, it's designed to look like a foot clasp. But as I took the plastic wrap off, this little piece actually, kind of hard to see, that little plastic piece there on the end ended up snapping off. So thankfully, I saw it because this is a very tiny, small little piece. So if you were taking it off kind of rather quickly, good chance you could have just not seen it even come off. But thankfully, I saw mine, and I just have gone in and I put a little glue under it, so you would have no idea that it ever came off or anything. But just be weary, if you buy this, from somebody used or anything like that. That piece may have come off for them without them even knowing, or maybe they did know. But nevertheless, just be on the lookout for that. But yeah, that's it for at least the only issues I had taking her out of the packaging. So first, before we actually take a closer look at her in more detail, let's go over all the accessories that she comes with. So again, there's a lot here to unpack. So as you can see, she's got the hands, got the little data card from the end of the movie. You got a satchel here, weapons, multiple attachments for things, hat, scarf, then another poncho there. But first, let's take a look at the base. So first off, you get this little card that you can put on over top if you would like. It has a little protected sheet of plastic over it. Fairly cool design. They normally don't really go through like this. This is really the only one that they've done that has like this much detail on it as far as Star Wars ones go, at least that I'm aware of. But you can also take it off and just have your kind of standard, you know, black metallic Star Wars looking base. So I probably won't ever do anything with this. I'll probably use this if anything, but I'm probably not going to use either of them to be honest with you. But nevertheless, and then you also have, which is probably right here, the actual like the absolute coolest nameplate that any Star Wars characters has. I get the classic, silver metallic here or metal nameplate. But normally it just says, Jyn Erso is what it would say, but this has a an engraved Rebel logo on it. Sorry, I didn't realize it was out of focus there. So this has an engraved Rebel logo on it, and then her first name, and then a Star Wars logo as well. So this is definitely the coolest nameplate I think that I've seen as far as like any Star Wars ones are concerned. So that's very cool. And then I guess first here we'll take a look and we'll bring her back out real quick and we'll show. So with the helmet, and actually you take a piece of her hair off here, so you wouldn't even see. They did a really good job of hiding this seam. Like you would never even know by looking at it. But all you got to do is very easily just slide this off her head. You have a little magnet there, and then this just slips right on, just like so. And then you have this, very very easy. So you have that going for you there. Then you have this little satchel here. Now this is another thing you need to be weary of. When I first opened mine, this little section here was ripped. Kind of hard to focus on here, but there's this little section here that was actually ripped on mine. Really not a big deal, but thing to note, this little like concussion grenade looking thing is actually supposed to be stored right in here. As you can see, it's got this little like clip here, and it just goes over top of that. So this should be connected. I'll see if I can just glue it back together. It still does hold there, but I mean, obviously it can kind of slip off a lot easier now. Thankfully, there is like this little button here that would keep it from falling off, but nevertheless, there was that. I don't know if that's a super common thing, but it is a very extremely small piece of fabric, so I'm not really surprised that there was an issue. But nevertheless, you have this little mouth plate or oxygen mask type of thing here. This actually slides up over top. This is very nicely done. It's just like a plastic material, kinda got like a greenish hue to it. Bear in mind I am colorblind. And then, a little nice detail work on here with the nice paint job on the little, details here, making it look metal. This looks really cool, like it's all, like, ribbed for her pleasure. Well, sorry for the beeping if you heard that. It was, like, a battery backup that just went off, so no, not to worry, though. And then these little, canisters on here are actually removable to some degree, so another thing you wanna be careful for, but the design on this overall is very, very, very nicely done. There's a little bit of glue that I got on me from fixing that, that little boot clasp there. This is not metal, this is all plastic, but this hinge, I believe there is some stuff that you could actually attach to this. You would just need to be careful. Like, for instance, where did I see it? Well, we'll just go with this. Like, for now, like, this has a little hook on it. It'll get into focus. So, like, I imagine you probably can slide this on here, and it would hang on there, just like so. You can do that. Just be weary for doing this, as I because this is not like an actual hinge. It's just designed to look like a, carabiner, but it's not hinged, it's just one sculpt, so you can hang stuff off it, just be careful. But, all in all, the design on this is very, very well done. Like, I love the fabric and material used for it. The hose actually goes down further inside of the bag there. All these little clasps on it, look, they did a very good job making these things look like real metal. And, yeah, this is a little thing like that. So what you would do to actually attach this, though, is you pop her head off first, then it would slide this over the neck piece and put it back on, and then you can slip it over her face. Nothing too complicated with that. Then with, this rifle here, we have a very nice paint job on it. Nice weathering on it. It's one of the simple, just all black pieces and everything, but they did a very good job with the weathering, I think. There's a nice, like, a brush and wash over it that makes it look nice and metallic. It is articulated in the sense that you can pull this stock back, and it actually will click. This part actually clicks up inside right here, so it will stay shut. But when you open it up, this little piece will slide down, and you just slip it right in there to actually form the stock, just like so. That is very nice. This is another thing that, you could hang off of that pouch with the little ring here as well. You could do that. Now you have these binoculars here, which also have a very, very nice weather job done to them. This looks very, very good, in my opinion. And they did a really good job with this, making it look like actual glass. As you can even see on the camera, like, it comes through very, very nicely done. That makes it look like these are actual glass pieces on a binocular, so that's very cool. This, I don't know if it's supposed to be glued in or not, or if it just attaches, but there is like a little peg here. Might be kinda hard to see, and it does just kinda slip in. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be removable or if this was just another defect I had. Nevertheless, I don't really care because 'cause I'm not really going to use this mic. But as you see, I did have it clipped back in there, so it does go back in, just pops out rather easily, but nevertheless. Then you have this little sticker on here as well to make it look like it's showing you some sort of reading, so that's kinda cool. You have the scarf here, which does have little wires in it, I believe. Might not though. Kinda hard to tell. Might not. I don't really doesn't seem to actually have yeah, it does have wires, but it's very small wires, it looks like. But you have that just goes around her neck as well. And you have the poncho here. So to put the poncho on, you do actually have to take the vest off. So I will have her in this towards the end. I'll put her in some poses, and I will put this on hers for you to see how it looks on the figure. I probably won't be posing her in this. I kinda like her look with just the, uh, the vest and the scarf, in all honesty, and, probably no helmet as well. Nevertheless, you do have this. Forgive me, I haven't watched Rogue One in a while, so I don't really know what they call this in the film, but I know it's like the data card or the data drive that held the plans for the Death Star and everything, so it honestly just looks like an old school hard drive with, like a mechanical hard drive. But nevertheless, you have this, which is just like a nice little touch if you wanted to recreate that scene, you definitely can. And, you actually do have some, like, individual sculpting. Hard to see on the camera, but this is actually not just a sticker. This is actually a sculpt inside of here. So that's actually pretty cool. They went through and actually added that extra layer of detail there. You have the Hypercrystal Necklace here. So this is another thing you wanna be careful for because it is so small. Make sure it's in the box if you do buy it used from somebody. Now, we do have a lot of stuff here. So you have this pistol. We're going to go over this and we'll go over the hands real quick. So this pistol can actually do a lot of different things. Looks like a normal pistol, but you can you can just holster this and keep it just as is. But you can also like take this off. And then if you take this off, you can then slip this larger portion, which also has a very nice paint job done to it. But then you can slip this right in top of it here. Oh, I'm going fucking backwards. There we go. Flip this on, so, and then you also have this little stock on it that would just slide in right over here. You can create this like long rifle. Now you can also convert this into more things too. So you can actually just take this off, and that's a form of the weapon by itself. But then you can also, from here, take this piece and actually slip it into here. Now you have the long range sniper rifle. There's a lot of different configurations you can actually make with all these little pieces that were down here. Then, on top of that, put that there for right now. Then you also have do this, which is like the little baton. So this actually will come right out. That's like where they would hold it. Then first, though, obviously, if you want to use it for this purpose, this little top peg here comes right off. Then you slip this inside. Now you have the baton, just like so. There's a lot of different things you can do with this, man. It's actually like really cool in my opinion that they added all this stuff to it. I even think you actually can put this into the tip here. Not 100% where this goes, in all honesty. This is one thing I would definitely say, whip out the instructions and actually take a look at everything, because there's just so much to go with it. And they do have most of it all in there in the instructions. So definitely take a look at that before you start maneuvering things around all that much. And you can also put this little grenade right down here into her front pocket. So like I said, you do have that can go on this little strap here, but can also just slip right in there. So I'll probably just have it there. Who knows? Because I probably won't honestly have the strap here. If anything, if I do use this, I might end up taking the breather mask out, just because I kind of like the aesthetic of having the strap over top of her. But nevertheless, there's that. So, but yeah, that pretty much covers everything that we have here. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and we'll look at the hands here. So you have a ton of different hands here. They're all very nicely done. They did a really good job with the sculpt here and the paint job, making these look like some actual gloves here, actual leather gloves. There's not a lot of like, normally they do like a lot more ripple effects on it when they're like leather gloves, but they all kind of look like that. You have one of these pistol hands for both left and the right, and then you have a couple closed fist hands here. And then you have some like open hands as well. And then well, grasping hands rather. And then you have open hands that actually come on the figure. So you have a ton of different hand options to go through. So but now, guys, that pretty much covers everything accessory-wise that we have here. So I'm going to go ahead, get into some poses, and give my final thoughts on everything, and mention anything that I may have missed over top here. So let's go ahead and get her on the turntable and take another. Actually, before we do the poses, let me bring the figure out, and then we'll take a closer look at the figure. Then we'll do the poses. How about that? All right, guys. So here we have it. Here, let's take a closer look at the figure. So I went ahead and I did put this on right here. So this is a little baton here as it's like sheathed. So you can just hang that right there. It might fall off here as I'm moving around. So we'll go ahead and just take that off for now. But that goes right there. The pistol actually can holster right in here. And this is actually just a little magnet. So it just clips right down on there. So that's very nice. And as you can see, there's actually like real zipper works on here on the inside. Now, it doesn't actually zip up or anything, but they are, sewn on there as a part of the figure, so this doesn't close or anything like that. Then you have some more, like, little strap work on here, another little pouch over here, and then, like I said, I have a little concussion grenade or what have you sitting right in there. And then again, another look at this head sculpt here, which just looks absolutely phenomenal. I think it's a fantastic job, fantastic lightness, likeness to the character. So they did a really good job with this. I got the Kyber necklace right there. Yeah, all in all, I really love this piece. I think it's really cool. One thing to note here as well, I guess we'll go ahead and take a look. I love this little patchwork on here. This is like rubber on here, so be careful with this. This might degrade over time. Not 100% sure if it will or not. And then a little patchwork here on the back, made him look like a nice true vest. This velcros on, so you could take the belt off if you so choose. And I love all like the detail work just on the legs and everything. Like I think, as I said, it was never a figure I imagined ever owning, but I'm incredibly happy that I do have it at this time. So it's honestly probably one of my favorite figures now that I have it. Only complaints with it so far really is like the boot design. You get like no mobility in this at all. This is like a solid sculpt for the most part, and there is literally no ankle mobility in this. So you're kind of stuck with a straight flat-footed you know, pose here for the most part. It's going to be hard to get her into any sort of super dynamic poses with that kind of design. But nevertheless, you know, you have her stand there. She looks good regardless. So I think it's good either way. So that being said, we'll go ahead and cover some articulation, and then we'll get into some poses here too. So this, like I said, this does actually come off, and you are supposed to remove, at least in the instructions, it says to remove this to put the poncho on. Now, I haven't done it either way. I'm sure you probably could just leave it on. It might just make her look a little bulkier than she's supposed to. So you could just do that regardless if you really wanted to. Kind of up to you at that point. Yeah, nice little detailing right here as well. The pouch there. So yeah, I really, really love this figure. Very happy with it. I'm glad to have it for sure. Articulation wise though, you don't get a lot of restrictions here at all. So you'll go about to there with the arm, and then you'll go about, you get a little bit of restriction on the shoulder here from the vest, and the vest actually starts to move, but you can go about up to there without any issues. You got a double bend at the elbow. You have a butterfly joint at the shoulder. And another thing to note here is you have, with the neck, an individual joint here for the neck, but they actually have like a soft kind of rubberized foam body going over top of this for like padding wise. So one, this head pops in like very easily, but you get ball joint articulation as well as neck articulation. So you can definitely move her around quite easily. And like I said, this is like a soft material, and that kind of goes throughout the entire body. So this is all soft. And then it's also on her rear section is all soft, but then that pad area seems to stop at the legs, and it's not on the arms either. So these are just like hard plastic. Like I said, both arms will go out to about there without any issues. Double bend of the elbow, pretty much no restriction on mobility there. With the legs, you'll go about to there. Pants start to kind of catch you. But then forward, pants start to kind of catch you, so you really only go about to here. Double bend at the knee, not as much restriction there for that at all, so you can get pretty much a full bend on there. You have a little bit of a swivel at the thigh, but it is kind of tight. And then on the other knee, you get a little bit more actually. You can go a little bit further back with this one, it looks like, but you do have that double bend there at the knee. And then again, ankle, you have a swivel, but you really don't have any rotation, left or right. You're kind of, this is pretty much a fixed boot here. So that's kind of where you're at with it. But they did a fantastic job on the sculpt of the boot, in my opinion. It looks like some, dark brown leather boots. They did a really good job with that. So yeah, all in all though, I'm very impressed with the figure. I really like it. I can't wait to put it, on display there with the collection. Definitely makes me want a K2SO figure. Surprised they never, you know what? We'll probably get a Diego Luna, Cassian Andor figure once the show comes out, you would imagine. So, that'll be something good to kind of complete this set in some way. So, other than that, you really only have K2SO and then Director Krennic and then a Death Trooper. That's pretty much all they made from this. So, but yeah, I'm excited to have her in the collection. So now let's go ahead and get her into some poses and then kind of give my final thoughts and everything and wrap up the video. All right, so there you had it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing and detailed look portion of this video. So now, like I said, I've got her in some poses here. I think it's just, I just threw in 6 quick poses here. I say quick, but I mean, if you've never done one of these unboxing and review videos yourself, surprisingly, these like 20 to 40-minute videos end up taking quite a bit of time behind the scenes, like a couple hours to get them done, and it's mainly the pose portion. I'll tell you what, like honestly, the editing and all that stuff, like I'm getting that done in a breeze, but throwing them all together for the poses, like, that's the complicated part, especially when you have a figure like Jyn here who has so much stuff. Like, it's just it's kinda hard to even decide what poses you wanna get her in. So, like, obviously, I had her just standing kinda up and down there in a normal pose. Now I got her with a little, like, hood thingy on For whatever reason, I can't think of what that's actually called. I don't know why. My brain's not working right now. But nevertheless, that is kind of my preferred look with it. I like it either on or off more so than that poncho look. Here's just like a simple, she's just reaching for her blaster kind of appeal with that melee baton there on the bottom or on the little clip there. Now, granted, like I showed you, the boot clip kind of came off on mine during the unboxing process while I was doing the posing here. That clip that holds the baton right that's glued to the pistol holster, that came off for me as well. So I've had a couple issues with this thing out of the box, and I don't really fault Hot Toys or anything for it. I'm just mainly letting you guys know to kind of be weary because I've had a couple very small stitches like on that harness that goes around her. Like a couple of those broke, and then that like I said, that clip broke off and the boot clip broke off. All can be kind of fixed with some glue. And like I said, I don't really blame Hot Toys or anything. They're very small stitches. So I mean, it just kind of broke off naturally. I wasn't fussing. I wasn't trying to pull anything like any way it was supposed to. It was just general everyday use. But I really like this pose too, surprisingly as well. Like you guys, I just tried to throw as much stuff on her as possible. This right here though is kind of like my favorite pose in all honesty because I have pretty much everything on her in some capacity. Like I have, like I said during the video, I wanted to take that harness off and just have it sitting there without the little satchel part on there that holds like the oxygen, breather portion. And you clearly can clip that off. And then I decided to put the blaster rifle hanging off there as well, so then she can hold the baton, hold the pistol, or you could assemble the long rifle and have her holding that with the other rifle hanging down off the hip there. I like that. I like getting, like, as much stuff on her or, like, any figure really. I like to have them if they have a bunch of accessories, I want them to be using as many as possible, but also looking natural. That's why that one at the very end there, which I'm sure I'll still be yabbering on until and we'll get to see it again here in a moment, that's kinda my favorite one so far. So let me know what you guys think. I know there's, like I said, she has so many accessories that you can just do a lot with her in all honesty. So I'm curious, what kind of poses you guys have her in. Let me know, what you think down in the comment section below. Like I said, I just threw some of these together real quick, and obviously some of them there, like these 2 are just kinda generic, so you just get an overall, view of how everything looks. Kind of the first 3 are just standing straight up and down with the various outfits on, so, like, without the hood and now with the hood, and then this is just a simple one, just grabbing the pistol out, but with the hood down is the only one I had just with the hood down like that, so but yeah, overall, I'm really impressed with this figure. I really like it. I do wish that some of the main complaint is the boots, honestly. Just that there's no split cut boot design whatsoever. There you get no mobility on the boots. Now, granted, without having any joints or hinges on the boots, she doesn't really have any issues standing. That being said, I didn't really try to put her in a very dynamic pose to where her like knees are bent or anything like that to where some ankle movement would actually be needed. So as long as you do that, then you probably wouldn't run into any, like, real issues with it. That being said, if I had to make a complaint, that would be the complaint. Just wish that, there was a split cut boot design, just a little bit more movement in general, but I love that she comes with so much stuff, like, I didn't even use everything here, like, if you notice in these, poses, I didn't even use the long rifle. I didn't even use, any combination of that secondary rifle, actually, and then I didn't even use the data recorder thing that she stole from the the Death Star plans and everything. It didn't even use that, and, like, there's just a lot you could do. Like, you could even put the satchel back on and probably fit the Death Star plans into the little satchel part if you wanted to. If your clip where it's supposed to be on the pistol, as you can see here on this video or on this, pose, I mentioned that clip that was on the holster fell off, and it had already fallen off at this point in time. That's why it's not there, so I'm gonna have to glue that back on in some capacity. But otherwise, yeah, I love this. This is probably a pose like this is kinda like I said, like my favorite because, like, she's got the rifle, she's got the baton, she's got the pistol, she's got the hood, she's got the satchel, the grenade things, and the little, what's the little thing in her left pocket there. I had all that on her, you know what I mean? So and I could even put the binoculars on her if I wanted to. Like, I mean, I like equipping as much stuff as possible while not making it look unnatural, so but let me know, guys. Do you have this piece? Is this something you were looking for? Did you pass on it initially? Because they didn't do too much in the Rogue One line. They just did. if I'm remembering correctly, they did the Rogue One Vader, they did the Jyn Erso, they did the Imperial outfit Jyn Erso, which now that I have this one, I kinda wish I had that Imperial outfit one as well. But then, what was it, K2SO and then Director Krennic. I think those were the only ones they did. So hopefully, like I said off the top, like during the unboxing process, hopefully when the Andor show comes out, we'll get a Cassian Andor figure, maybe even a K2SO reissue. That would be pretty cool. Because at this point, I do have Director Krennic, so I'll probably do the Krennic review next week. So stay tuned with that. So like I have Krennic to go with her, but at the same time, I have a Death Trooper that I'm going to put with Krennic. So as it stands right now, she's kind of on her own here. So I would like, a Saw Gerrera perhaps, a Cassian Andor, K2SO. I think those 3 would be pretty cool. I doubt we'd ever get a Galen or so, but I mean, it wouldn't be too hard to make a Galen or so if they ever, now that Mads Mikkelsen is gonna be in Indiana Jones 5, he's also was in the first Doctor Strange movie, so, I mean, you could probably find a head sculpt and get a Imperial officer outfit, and you could make a Galen Erso figure potentially, so, I mean, that would be kinda cool. Doubt we'll ever get one. But guys, let me know what you thought of the review. Do you have the figure? Are you on the lookout for this figure? I know the price for this figure is insane. But like I said, I'm fairly certain it's primarily because this is probably the only one we're gonna get. There's really no other reason that, they would make one unless they just straight up did a reissue. But I don't see them doing a reissue if it's not Iron Man 2, right? It's not like doing a lot of Iron Man 2 reissues. I mean, it's gotta be someone at Hot Toys, whoever is like Iron Man 2 has to be like their favorite movie over there because I don't understand. I'm still waiting on these Clone Wars figures they announced back in 2019. So damn it, Hot Toys, give me my Obi-Wan Kenobi. Give me my Clone Wars Armored Obi-Wan Kenobi and my Padme. Those are the 2 I want most that they announced 2 years ago. So goddamn, I hope we get those eventually. Worst case scenario, I hope Sideshow continues their Clone Wars line that they announced with the actual animated likeness, and I hope that they actually do go up to Rebels because that's what I was honestly more shocked than anything is that Hot Toys never made a single Rebels figure. Like, that's insane. I'd love to have the crew from Rebels and like Jyn would fit in with that camp. You know what I mean? So would like Saw Gerrera. They all kind of connect. So hopefully if Hot Toys never gets around to the Clone Wars figures like they started, like I said, like 2, 3 years ago at this point, god damn it, I hope Sideshow continues their animated like likeness line that they just announced with the Anakin and Obi-Wan, and then hopefully they kind of can help fill in those gaps. You know what I mean? So, but guys, I've been rambling on here. So just tell me what you think about this figure down in the comment section below, and follow. You can. What am I trying to say here? I don't know. I forget where I was going. Just don't forget, guys. You can also our show every Monday, Honest and Uneducated. You can submit topics and questions for us to address on that very show by emailing us at honestanduneducated@gmail.com. That's honestanduneducated@gmail.com. If you haven't caught the show before, we just talk about movies, movie news, video games, comic books, collectibles, all sorts of fun stuff like that. So that drops every Monday at around like 7 a.m. Eastern time is when the new episode's available. It is also available in podcast form, so you can go subscribe to the podcast. Just search Honest and Uneducated on your podcast platform of choice. Subscribe to that. Listen to it all there. And then every Friday, we do our live streams. And now, because Loki, unfortunately, is on Wednesdays for whatever reason, we're going to be doing our Loki, our formal Loki reviews and discussions, our spoiler-filled ones we would normally do for the show on Mondays because the shows used to air on Fridays and everything. But now we're going to be doing our formal Loki live discussion and review, or a spoiler discussion review rather, every Friday during the live stream. So we normally go live around 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. So come hang out with us there. We normally go for anywhere from like 2, 4, 5 hours. And we'll talk collectibles, any new Hot Toys announcements, Sideshow announcements, whatever. And now we are going to be doing our Loki spoiler-filled reviews and discussions every Friday as well during that live stream. And then, as you saw with this video, these drop every Wednesday. This one is a little bit late because I've had a busy week, so I actually just got this one finished on Wednesday today, and it's going to be up here like right now, I don't know what time it is. It's like almost 4. I'm hoping to have it up around 4 or 5. So normally these go up around 7 a.m. on every Wednesday as well, but I was a little bit behind getting it done. So, anyways, though, guys, I appreciate you washing. I appreciate you watching. I don't know why I can't talk. It's because I've been rambling for about 11 minutes now at this point. Jesus. But guys, like the video, subscribe, share it, all that sorts of fun stuff. You can follow me simply at Sir Rob Bifo. And then, yeah, until next time, like I said, come hang out with us this Friday. We'll be right here on the channel. Sometime between 8 to 9 p.m. is when we will go up on, start streaming. So coming out of this end, but then like and subscribe, all that sorts of fun stuff. And again, that's pretty much it. That's all I got. So until next time, guys, you take care.